When I first met Scylla, she said, "Why don't you put some yogurt on that pasta?" It was pure blasphemy.
I love lentil soup.
Chorba.
Chorba.
Not cobra. Chorba.
Hi, everyone.
I love food.
Lorenzo loves food, and you guessed it. This episode is all about food.
Yes.
Our favorite topic, and definitely Lorenzo's favorite topic.
It's just amazing to see even the base ingredients here in Turkey are unbelievably delicious. From watermelon to olives to figs, it's just paradise for me.
We're going to walk you through some of our favorite Turkish foods, as well as the health benefits associated with some of the key ingredients and key dishes found in Turkey. All right, so number one on the list and number one in my heart is yogurt. Yogurt is absolutely by and far my favorite thing in the entire world. And when I say yogurt, I'm not talking about those sweet flavored yogurts that you buy at a grocery store. I'm talking about sour, plain, strained yogurt, and it is just phenomenal.
When I first met Scylla, she said, "Why don't you put some yogurt on that pasta?" And I basically fainted. It was pure blasphemy. I come from an Italian background to put yogurt on your pasta. I understand it's not the sweet kind, but just explain to me a little bit why in Turkish culture we love Turkish yogurt on pasta and everything.
A lot of Turkish dishes have yogurt as one of the main ingredients. Our ravioli, which is called manta, has yogurt on top of it. We have a yogurt drink that Lorenzo loves called ayran. It's a salty yogurt water mixture. And we essentially put yogurt on everything from rice to pasta. And to be completely honest, plain pasta with yogurt on it is my absolute comfort food. Anytime I've had a bad day, Lorenzo will start a pot of boiling water and get me some yogurt. So it's absolutely our favorite, my favorite. So what are the health benefits of yogurt? Obviously, yogurt is made through a fermentation process and has a ton of probiotics that are incredible for your gut health. So probiotics and gut health, that's kind of pretty well known. But what are some of the lesser known benefits of yogurt? There were actually 2 meta-analyses that showed that consuming plain yogurt every day actually decreases your risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, it's unclear what the link is between eating plain yogurt daily and type 2 diabetes, but what researchers believe is that that change in that gut microbiome really serves as a protective mechanism about type 2 diabetes. Also, it's important to note that some of the studies are pretty limited and we don't know that much about yogurt, but there were some pretty good studies over 20 years that looked at large cohorts of patients that showed that daily yogurt consumption is actually also associated with decreased weight gain. So decreased weight gain, tons of good probiotics, and a decrease in the risk of type 2 diabetes. Sounds great to me. Should we just consume yogurt all day, every day?
Do you think that these data apply to all types of yogurt? Like even like the fruit-based yogurt and the flavored ones that I loved so much when I grew up?
That's a good point. So for you viewers out there, Lorenzo is absolutely a sugar addict and he loves his sweet yogurts. Unfortunately, those sweet yogurts that you buy at the grocery store are not associated with these same health benefits because of the added sugars. So when we talk about yogurt, and specifically when we talk about Turkish yogurt, we're talking about that plain yogurt that has no added sugars. Otherwise, those sugars kind of negate all of the health benefits. I think the other thing that's good to mention about the benefits of yogurt is that ultimately it is an animal product, and we do need to think about the impact that using any animal products has on our environment. So industrialized farming is obviously incredibly terrible for our environment. If you are consuming a lot of animal products, really try to decrease that. I personally, most of my animal product comes from yogurt. I eat a little bit of cheese, but it's really yogurt. And if you can keep that to 1 or 2 cups a day, then you can minimize that carbon footprint significantly.
We are about to dine in an olive grove, and we are very excited because it smells floral and there's olives everywhere.
We this region, and we will report back and let you know how it tastes.
It's in a water bottle.
It's in a water bottle. Next up on our list is olive oil.
Yes, this is truly the Turkish and Italian classic. I mean, any Mediterranean country will bathe in olive oil. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats, oleic acid, as well as antioxidants. It's a key component of the Mediterranean diet, which has been shown to be one of the best diets for cardiovascular health and in general health overall. Olive oil is a strong anti-inflammatory, and in fact that seems to be inflammation and seems to be a key part of cardiovascular disease. And so one of the interesting things about olive oil is that inherently it seems to also promote endothelial health within your blood vessels. It also seems to reduce the effects of LDL cholesterol by oxidizing this carrier of lipid molecules, and generally it helps to manage blood clotting as well. Having this in your arsenal of cooking is very important. And I will actually add, what is the difference between, when you see extra virgin olive oil and regular olive oil? Extra virgin olive oil is that first bit of oil that comes out of your olives when they're processed. It's cold pressed, which means that there's no added heat to the process. Olives are turned into a paste, and that paste is compressed, and that first bit of oil that comes out is your most high quality, healthiest olive oil. Other types of oil that are not so-called extra virgin tend to be blends of other types of oils like canola, vegetable oils with olive oil, or just with some defects or not as rich in the antioxidant process. And so when we're thinking about the heart healthy olive oil, EVO, extra virgin olive oil, is what we're thinking about.
Next up, and another favorite, is lentil soup.
Korba?
Chorba.
Cobra.
So it's a C with a little accent on it, and it's pronounced chorba. And mercimek chorba is lentil soup. I love lentil soup. We get lentil soup almost every day here. So what are the health benefits of lentils?
How do you eat it? You get a bowl of it? And what is it?
Actually, we're going to pan over to the video right now, and we're going to see exactly how we eat it.
We are waiting for some homemade Turkish ravioli, the manta, which we found a spot that makes vegetarian options, and some chorba, which is mercimek chorba, which is lentil soup. And there's some very quaint Turkish ladies hand making the manta. Sunglasses come off for the chorba. Ooh.
And tell us about this.
Super spicy little yellow peppers. My mouth is still on fire from them. They're so tasty though.
So, what are the health benefits of lentils? Lentils and legumes in general are an incredible source of fiber. Of course, you know that when you eat lentils, you have a high fiber content, but it also has key ingredients like potassium, folate, and important plant chemicals called polyphenols. Now, the research on legumes and lentils has been very definitive in animal studies to show that it lowers cholesterol, lowers the risk of heart disease, or improves cardiovascular health, and also lowers the risk of type 2 diabetes. Now, as many of you know, animal studies don't always translate directly into human studies, and the research in humans has been a little different than this. We do know that there's a pretty definitive association between legume consumption and decreased risk of type 2 diabetes, but the very important thing that I found when I was reading up on my legumes, because they're so delicious, is that there's actually a decreased risk of breast cancer in women who consume legumes. Now, I'm guessing that's from the polyphenols and that antioxidant property, but it might also be the gut prebiotic health that is caused by the high fiber in lentils. I'm not sure.
And you know what else is we love folate. Why do we love folate? Well, it's a type of B vitamin, and it's key for development of the embryo, pregnant ladies need to be on extra folic supplementation, and without it, we would all be terribly anemic. In fact, red blood cell development is essentially impossible with folate, a critical component of this. And so lentils, generally a very, very healthy food. We love eating it all types of ways, but Scylla's favorite way to eat lentils is what?
Chorba.
Chorba. Not cobra. Chorba.
We went to the Pazar today and we all got a little hangry. So now we're eating homemade vegetarian food that we got at the Pazar from the little ladies there.
What is Patlıcan doing right now?
Next up on our list is balık or fish. Now, Lorenzo and I are both pescatarians, which means that we don't consume any meat products, but we do eat some seafood, we consume dairy products, and we eat eggs. And that's our way of just kind of helping to minimize our carbon footprint and also stay as heart healthy as possible. So what are the health benefits of fish? The Harvard School of Public Health found that eating 1 to 2 servings of omega-3 rich fatty fishes a week actually very significantly decreases your risk of heart disease. They found that it decreases it by a third. Yeah, a third. So that's a pretty significant improvement of heart health. And for someone like me that has a family history of heart disease, and for anyone really living in today's social environment with the quality of our food, this is an important thing to remember when you're planning out your meals for the week. So overall, eating fish once or twice a week is likely to reduce your risk of heart disease and stroke, that's from the cardiovascular benefits, and might even decrease your risk of developing Alzheimer's dementia in the future.
We love omega-3s, but unfortunately, fish is not all a positive story. As with everything, there's pros and cons, especially in today's society with the amount of pollution, climate change, and farm fishing that we have. Fish can also carry a significant amount of contaminants. Significant if you eat a large amount of them. So things that we are concerned about in fish is mercury level, dioxins and PCBs, polychlorinated biphenyls. These are persistent byproducts of industry, whether that's burning chemicals, burning plastics, that just tend to linger in our environment, and they accumulate in our oceans, which is the ultimate sink in Earth, and they tend to get in the fish meat. They're in very, very small amounts, but there are studies that show that they're very highly carcinogenic, and so consuming a very large amount of these compounds can tend to lead to the risk. With fish, we are also seeing a large amount of microplastics that are permeating throughout fish tissues and now are being found in human autopsy tissue as well, probably from what we are ingesting.
So true. I think it's important to note that there have been some studies on the impact of PCBs from fish consumption. And what researchers found was that for every 100,000 people that consume large quantities of fish, about 24 of those individuals will develop life-threatening cancer as related to the PCB consumption. But the consumption of fish will actually protect 7,000 individuals from death due to heart disease. So you kind of have to weigh the risks and benefits here. It is extremely heart healthy. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the United States and around the world. And although PCBs are linked to as a carcinogen, there is a decreased risk compared to the protective benefits of consuming fish. So you kind of have to decide for yourself what a safe level is. I would say we eat fish maybe a couple times a month to maybe max 3. When we're home, we really don't even eat fish. But when we're here in Turkey, we eat fish at least once a week because the quality is just so good.
Now, I just will note that statistical data point that Scylla mentioned, that is the number needed to harm and the number needed to treat. And there's actually a very cool website called NNT, which has a lot of number needed to treat for different diseases. And that's just an aside to check it out on your own when you have time.
That's a great point. I think the other thing that we should mention is when we talk about these studies and we talk about fish consumption, we are discussing wild-caught saltwater fish. If you are consuming freshwater fish caught by friends and family, I would definitely make sure you check in with your local regulators to see what the chemical levels are in your freshwater sources, because they can actually be much higher and much more dangerous, and you want to be very, very careful around fish consumption in those environments.
I am craving figs right now. I crave figs all day long, every day, all day. My favorite, the fig here, is just unbelievably delicious. Very rich in antioxidants, fiber, and used for treatment of constipation in a lot of places here. Eat a couple of these and you'll be going regular in no time. Wow.